the fact that I filmed this whole video and my microphone wasn't on. Hey guys, what is up? It's Amy and welcome back to my channel. So I usually make videos about sustainability and also sometimes about living in Paris. Yeah, we're almost at 10,000, which is so exciting. Thank you so much for all the new people that came from Charlie's video. It was so nice of them to post me, and I hope that you guys didn't all leave immediately because I haven't posted in so long. Today's video is going to be a Paris video because these are so easy to film, edit, and upload, and that's exactly what I needed this week. So I'm going to be talking about things that I miss about living in Paris. I thought this would be a really fun video because TAPIF, the program that I did last year, all the people doing it this year are getting their visas, they're getting their flights booked, and they're about ready to move out. And so I wanted to make this video for you guys specifically so that you could see some of the things that I loved about Paris that you should get excited for, and also just in general, not even Paris, because a lot of these things are true about France in general and also about Europe, but I will be speaking from my experience about living in Paris. So the first thing is my friends, which is so sappy, oh my god, but I made some of my best friends in Paris. This is probably one of my most asked questions, and if you ever have any questions about Paris, moving to Paris, living in Paris, anything like that, my DMs are always open. You can message me and I will respond. And one of the most asked questions I get is, how do you make friends in Paris? How do you meet people in Paris? It's not that hard, I promise you. Most of the friends that I made were through Bumble BFF, kind of. But Bumble BFF is a part of Bumble where you can just make friends, and I technically only made 2 friends off of Bumble BFF, my friend May and my friend Claudia, but literally most of my other friends I made through meeting Claudia. So it's kind of like a situation where you'll meet a couple people and then those people will introduce you to other people, and then that's how you kind of just build your network in Paris. So most of my friends in Paris are international, and that's kind of how it goes with like Bumble BFF and with like the way the friendship networks work. It's mostly a lot of people who are looking for friends because they're not from Paris, and those are going to be your besties. So I definitely recommend Bumble BFF to make friends, and also just put yourself out there, go to picnics, go to any meetups that are happening. Another way, also online, is through Facebook groups. I also met a couple other people through like I think it was like Paris Girls or something. There's so many groups you can join, and they'll have meetups, picnics, stuff like that, and like different group activities. And like I said, it's gonna be more international people because those are who are trying to make connections in Paris, and you're also looking for connections. So don't be shy, go to these meetups because everyone there is looking for friends. If you have a job, you're gonna make friends through there. So my job, I was a teaching assistant. So my friend Salome, who was also a teacher at the school I worked at, similar age to me. A lot of the other teachers were a lot older. But she was a similar age to me, and we really bonded because we were both Congolese. So I made that friend through my job, and out of all the cities I lived in, I think Paris was the easiest to make friends. And I think it was because I was at a point in my life where I was more extroverted, putting myself out there, just like everyone else was looking to make friends, so it was pretty easy to make friends. So yeah, I definitely miss my Paris besties, and if you ever have any other questions about like making friends, definitely reach out to me on Instagram. And if you're moving to Paris and scared about making friends, don't worry about it. If you're doing TAPIF, by the way, join the different groups for the different cities and you'll make friends. I made a couple of friends through like the TAPIF Discord, and even people who weren't in my city, who were in like different parts of France. Also made friends through the Facebook group kind of, but also there will always be like TAPIF meetups through the WhatsApp group. So join these different like online group chats and stuff, and you're gonna make friends pretty easily. So the second thing I miss is food. So I'm from a pretty small town in a conservative state. Being vegan is hard out here. So when I was in high school, I tried to go vegetarian, but I was literally bullied for it by my friends. So yeah, it was very hard for me in high school. And even when I went to college and I was living in Minneapolis, I'd say Minneapolis isn't I guess it's okay being vegan, but I'd say Paris, out of all the cities I lived in, was the easiest for me to be vegan because there's so many vegan options, so many vegan restaurants, and there's also vegan grocery stores, which I didn't know that was a thing before I went to Paris. So there's two specifically, I do not remember the names of them. I think one is like Un Monde Vegan or something. The other one of my friends like introduced me to it, and they had like a restaurant too connected to it. I'm gonna try to ask her what the name of it was because it was like a grocery store, and they also had like a restaurant, and I had really good soup there. That soup was so good. They also have this grocery store chain in France called Naturalia, and they have vegan ones. So there's a couple in the city, so it's like a grocery store, but it's all vegan food. It is expensive because, you know, they can charge extra because it's vegan alternatives, but I definitely still recommend going to these grocery stores because one, you're supporting a vegan grocery store, and also you can buy anything in the store, which is always the most frustrating thing about vegan grocery shopping, is like looking at everything and being like, oh, not vegan, you know? So definitely recommend Naturalia, vegan ones specifically, but also other Naturalias will have vegan options. And I'll also put on the screen a couple of the other vegan grocery stores that I love. When it comes to vegan restaurants though, Cloud Cakes, so good. It's kind of like a coffee shop, so they have coffee obviously, croissants, cupcakes. Oh my god, they had this really good like cupcake that was like, I forget the name of it, but it was so good. They also have like food. I think I got pad thai there, that was really good. So there's also this restaurant close to Tuli called Wild in the Moon. So good. It's also kind of like a coffee shop slash restaurant, so they have some food but also some pastries and coffee and stuff and smoothies. So that restaurant is really good, especially if you're going to Tuli, which is a really nice park. I also really like this one in the 16th. Oh, I always forget the name of it, but they had really good vegan lasagna. It's not a fully vegan restaurant, they have some non-vegan food, but it is very vegan friendly, and they also have vegan sandwiches, and that one is really good if you're going to Trocadero, which is where the Eiffel Tower is. So if you're in that area, definitely recommend that restaurant for vegan options. And there's also Hank Burger, which is I hadn't tried it, but I've heard it's really good. But my favorite like veggie burger was from Fura Burger, which is actually a really nice restaurant where all of the workers there are deaf, which I think is really cool because it's giving them a job, whereas like a regular restaurant setting would not be able to accommodate them. So I just think that's super cool, and their food is also really good. And literally my last day in Paris, I went to this vegan kebab place with my friend Zoe, and the food was so good. I definitely recommend. I don't know the name of it though. I'll have to see if I can like look it up. So if you're vegan in Paris, don't worry, you're going to have a lot of different options, especially if you make vegan friends, because then you guys can be vegan together and go to vegan restaurants. So next thing is the buildings, the architecture. Paris is such a pretty city. Just in general, it's so cute. What I don't miss though, I know this video is about things I miss about Paris, but it's really cute, but the rent prices, oof. So my room right now, it's really messy, so I don't want to show you guys, but you can kind of get the feel for the size of it. This was probably the size of my entire apartment. And I paid like 600 euros a month for it. For what? Like, the prices are crazy, but Paris, like the architecture, the ambiance, the feel of the city is so cute. I also like the streets are so zigzaggy. That's something that I don't understand about Paris as well. There's a lot of roundabouts, but it makes it such a nice city to just wander. Like, I lived in the 16th, which is probably like the most like Pinteresty, like the cute part of the city, where you can just like walk down the street and you're just like mesmerized by the city, and you can just wander. You can get lost really easily. I have gotten lost before, but good thing I had Google Maps. But yeah, definitely a city where you can just admire the buildings. But this is a France thing because me and my friends went to Nice for a couple days, and it's also a city where you can just wander around and look at the buildings. And of course you have the sea as well, so that's something Nice has above Paris. So I just think Europe in general, the cities are so pretty because they're just more, I don't want to say ancient, but they're just not as like modern. I personally am not super into like the modern vibes. Like New York City I think is pretty cool, but like skyscrapers and stuff, like they're cool, but I don't know, I definitely much prefer like the really intricate architecture of like a lot of European cities. And Paris, definitely 100% understand why it's the most visited city in the world, because it's just so pretty and the buildings are top notch. Next is practicing French. So my French was probably the best when I was in Paris, because I was hearing it. Like, not gonna lie, I did not speak the most French because I hated myself out there, especially because I just feel like everyone's laughing at me. But living in Paris, living in France, you are forced to hear a lot of French on the metro, at grocery stores, at school, because I did work at a French high school, and even though the classes were all in English, if I was in the teacher's lounge, I was hearing French. If I was watching the news, it was going to be in French. So I did hear a lot of French and communicate in French the most when I was living in Paris, and that's something I miss because it improved my French. I need to stop smacking this microphone, because it improved my French so much, and I kind of miss being in an environment where I was being forced to speak a lot of French, because now who am I gonna speak French to? Who knows French here? No one. So that's why, like, my friend Lara, we sometimes text in French. It'll last like 2 days and then we'll go back to English because it's just so much easier. But I do miss being able to be forced to speak French, because that's how I improved my French the most. No one ever says, oh my god, I wish I had spoke less French when I was living in France, you know? No one says that. So if you're moving to France for a little bit, or if you're moving there forever, obviously you're going to need to learn French. But if you're moving there for temporarily, speak as much French as you can, because you will miss the ability to be forced to speak French. And even if all of your friends are international, like all of mine were, still force force each other to speak in French, because you're going to miss the opportunity to improve the language. And like, you have all the time in the world to continue speaking English, but every opportunity you get to speak French, please take it, because it'll improve your language so much better than just like only speaking in English. The next one is the metro, the love of my life. Next is Zendaya, of course. So the Paris metro is so nice, and coming from a town where you need a car to get everywhere, like I don't think I could survive in my hometown without a car. I do try to walk to work because it's pretty close. I live like a 20-minute walk from my job, so I do try to walk to work. Unless I'm working till 10, I will not be walking home at 10 p.m. In Paris, like, I could pretty much get to everywhere I needed to with the metro. And also, Paris is a pretty walkable city. Like, I had like a grocery store, a library, a gym if I needed to go work out close to my house, so I could walk everywhere. Like, I think my favorite grocery store to go to was maybe a 10-minute walk. It's a pretty walkable city, so wherever you're living, you're probably going to be close to where you need to be. In fact, the area in Paris where I lived in was the least walkable, and I'd say it was pretty easy to get to places. But basically, Paris is just such a nice city in terms of like the way that they organize it, to where you can like walk everywhere or take the metro or bike. Biking is always a good option, so it's just easier to be more sustainable that way. But also, having a car is expensive. Also, Parisian drivers, oh my god, they scare me so much, and I will never understand how do you survive as a Parisian driver? Like, they're so angry. They do not respect pedestrians at all. Like, the amount of times that I've almost gotten run over in Paris is actually astronomical. So yeah, Parisian drivers are really scary, so I would never want to be one. And also, driving is expensive, and also gas in France is very expensive. So I think it's nice that the metro is so easy, because you can just not have to deal with cars and not have to deal with Parisian drivers. They are so scary. I apologize so much, the lighting is getting so bad. Let's move back a little. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is parks. I loved going to parks so much. Like I said earlier, one of the best ways to make friends is going to picnics, and picnics usually happen at parks. So some of my favorite parks include Montsouris, which is in the south of the city. I believe it's the 13th or 14th, and it's really nice. Kind of a chill park with like a stream and a lot of trees and stuff. It's really nice. But then you also have Bouchemont, which is literally like nature in the middle of the city. Like, once you're like in the thick of Bouchemont, you feel like you're in like a jungle. It's really nice. And also, once you get to the top of it, you get a really nice view of the city, and you get to see you can see the Sacré-Cœur from the top of it. There's like a lookout point. I also really liked Tuileries, which is the park where the Louvre is. I met some of my closest friends there. And then Trocadero, which is where the Eiffel Tower is, also a very popular and beautiful park. I'm gonna put like one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken, one of my favorite pictures on my Instagram, where it was my friend's birthday and we had this really cute picnic, and then we took some pictures, some very like American in Paris pictures, and they came out so nice. But I definitely recommend Trocadero for like the vibes, 100%. But also Jardin du Luxembourg is such a nice park for like especially really big groups, like big meetups. I will warn you that it is very easy to get lost in there, especially if you're like meeting up with new people, and it's very, I don't know, I've gotten lost there so many times trying to find people. But a lot of the Tapif meetups were at Jardin du Luxembourg. It's not super central, but it's a really great location for like people coming from different parts of the city and also from the suburbs. So I definitely recommend Jardin du Luxembourg just for the vibes once again. So yeah, those are some of my favorite parks for meetups, for picnics, and to just hang out at because they're really nice. And they're also probably the most basic parks you can go to, but they're basic for a reason. They're popular for a reason. They're really nice. And Paris in general has so many nice parks and just like places to chill in the middle of the city. So that's something I love. Or also just hanging out by the Seine is also a great idea. Also, Canal Saint-Martin is a place where a lot of people recommend. I walked through it once, but I didn't get to like sit there a lot. Like this was like 2 weeks before I left, when things were opening up again. But Bastille is such a nice area to hang out with your friends. There's like a lot of nice like bars and restaurants in that area, and it's a very like the vibes. Once again, the vibes are just off the charts in that area. And yeah, so what is English? So those are some of the places that I really enjoyed hanging out in Paris, and I guess I can't speak English anymore. And I recommend checking out those parks and also those areas of Paris. The 16th is really nice because of the Eiffel Tower and like the aesthetic, but don't live in the 16th if you're extroverted and like going out. Don't do it. Some of the better places, some of the like more hippie areas of Paris that I recommend living in or hanging out in if you're younger is Les Marais, which has really nice thrift stores. Montmartre is like where the Sacré-Cœur is, and they have really nice thrift stores and like restaurants and stuff. Also, the Latin Quarter has a lot of schools and like a lot of colleges and stuff, so you're gonna meet a lot of younger people there. They have really nice bookstores. So definitely recommend there. Yeah, definitely stay away from the 16th if you like going out, because it's very hard to like do things. Like everything cool is not in the 16th. So the next one is travel. So the reason that I put travel on this list is because it's so easy to travel, and I say this as if some of my friends went to Nice, right? And it was a great trip. I loved the trip. But we were the worst at like figuring out how to get there. We had so many different like ideas for how to make it really cheap, but we ended up all taking different modes of transportation. Like some people took trains, some people took cars, some people took buses, some people did a combination. It was just all over the place. We all took different modes of transportation, but we all eventually did get there, and the trip was really nice. But I feel like Europe, it's so much easier to travel because everything's so much closer, and you can go to a different country for really cheap. Flights to different countries are cheap, especially this year because COVID. It's making a resurgence. She's making a comeback, but I think this year for anyone doing Tapif, it's gonna be much easier to travel and to like visit different places. So yeah, that's something I think is really cool about Paris and about France and about Europe in general. The last one, my mental health was really, really great when I was in Paris. I don't know what it was, maybe the independence, maybe, I don't know specifically, but I did feel the happiest when I was in Paris, basically. And that is the reason that I really want to go back to Paris, because when I was living there, I just felt the happiest, and I felt like enjoyed life, if that makes sense. This is really sad. When I was in Paris, I was just really happy, is a really nice way to put it, and I miss that. So these are some of the things that I really miss about Paris, about living in Paris, about Parisian life. And if you have any other things that you love about Paris that you want to add, you can add them in the description. I've been talking for far too long, and I hope that whoever is watching this video didn't get super bored by the end of it. But I don't know, I just had so much to talk about Paris, and I definitely would love to make more Paris videos. If you're doing Tapif and you have some things that you want me to talk about, definitely comment them down below. Or if you're just moving to Paris in general and you want me to talk about a specific topic, comment it down below, because in between making these like super research videos about sustainable living, I do want to make more videos about Paris because I do miss it. The lighting got so bad. Do you see this? Like the lines, wait. Will this make it better? Not really, but it's good. We're at the end of this video anyways. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely subscribe. Help me get to 10K. We're literally so close. Let's see if we can get there by the end of this month. That would be super cool. This month is about to end. Oh my god, it's almost September. It's almost my birthday month. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the new audio quality. Hopefully it was super good, and I did not mess up setting up this audio, because the first time I did it, it literally sounded so bad. There was so much background noise, but I kind of messed with it a little bit, and I think it's a little better. But that being said, thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.